Hey, what's up, people of the internets? Today we're going to talk about divorce during the time of Corona, Romeo and Juliet, and Titanic. Here we go. I was looking at some data this morning, and divorces all across the world, and especially in the United States, skyrocketing through the roof. And make no mistake, there's been millions of people crammed in their houses for months on end, trying to homeschool their kids, trying to graduate their kids, having work, losing work, working 3 jobs just to keep your bills paid, scared to death. We have an election coming. We've got a football season that's about to be canceled. We don't know what end is up, and people are getting stressed. People are stressed. They have been stressed. They're at the end of the rope. It is in these moments of deep stress, deep tension, that you find out what you and your relationships are made of. And if you find out your relationships aren't as strong as you thought they were, or that you're not as tough as you were, or you have been putting off conversations you haven't had for years, you're frustrated, like despite all your rage, you're still just a rat in a cage, you're frustrated, you're scared, all of it. You really end up with 2 options. One, you can just quit. You can fold up. You can sit in your swim trunks and eat Cheetos and have a frozen burrito for the rest of your life. Or 2, you can decide to do things different, and you can decide to say, I was made for more than this, and I want to do better. I want my relationships to be better. Those are your 2 choices, and that's it. Quit or stand up and say, let's do this. Let's change and grow. So today I'm talking about relationships. When you find yourself in the pit, right, in the mud, and the stupidest, most insidious myth about relationships that I know. It's so frustrating, man. It's nuts. I wasted years of my life believing this myth. It woven its way into my heart, and I think it starts with Romeo and Juliet, with Titanic, and all the other notebook kind of movies, and books, and literature, and it's all mythology that's woven its way into the DNA of what we think relationships look like. And I'm the biggest romantic in the world, man. I'm a total sap, and so it pains me to say this out loud, but I have to. You deserve it, and it's true. There is no such thing as cosmic star-crossed love. There is no one person just for you, roaming the earth, going through tough times, waiting till y'all turn the corners and see each other, and there it is. Love is a decision. I want to say that again. Love is a decision. It's a choice. It's a thing you do every day. Freaking Romeo and Juliet. Listen. Romeo and Juliet were 14-year-olds who saw each other at a party, wanted to hook up, secretly got married, slept together, and then threw like a murder-suicide temper tantrum. That's what we base our ideal of romance and star-crossed love on. Or take Titanic. A rich girl meets a super good-looking poor guy. They run around a boat for a while. He teaches her to spit like a man. He draws her nude. They hook up in the back of some old car. And then she shoves him off of a floating door and he drowns. And they love each other for eternity and forever and ever. Amen. Now, I love the nobility of it all. Way to go, Jack. He hung in there for Rose. And because of him, she got to drop a bajillion-dollar diamond into the ocean. Whatever. But in both cases, and in millions of books, movies, stories across the entire span of time, sex is substituted for intimacy. Feelings are sometimes substituted for reality. Your feelings become the only important thing. And what sucks is your feelings are often not the most important thing. They play a critical role, but sometimes they lie to you. Sometimes they deceive you. Sometimes they're just signals, not destinations. And this myth about relationships, that there's just one person and maybe you made a mistake, maybe you aren't feeling it anymore, maybe it's just not, I just don't feel it between us anymore. That gets transposed from the screen and the page to the real world, to our normal lives, where 2 people are trying to work, raise kids, get the yard done, get laundry done, replace the roof, get out of debt, scratch and claw their way through life. And so what does this have to do with spiking divorce rates? You are in a relationship and for the last few months, you've been struggling. Things are hard. Your partner has gotten more frustrating, more lazy, more gross. You can't take any more wet towels or scraping nacho cheese off the plates. If you see one more frozen burrito wrapper, you're going to lose your mind. And you haven't been your best self. You've been whining more, drinking more, Netflixing more. And you guys had a political discussion that you didn't know you probably should have had 4 or 5 years ago. Now you've found fissures and cracks in your relationship that y'all didn't even know were there. Or maybe the two of you are working 3 jobs, trying to keep food on the table and the lights on. Or maybe one of you's gone back to work and gets to re-enter the world of the living while the other one's trying to work from home and both simultaneously homeschool 2 kids and not murder 2 kids, right? Whatever your situation, it doesn't feel good anymore. It doesn't feel happy anymore. It doesn't feel whole anymore. And I get it. It's so easy to believe. It's so easy to think. It's so easy to feel that if you just ended your relationship, things would feel better, right? Because right now, ending your relationship feels like the one thing you can control in a world that is spinning madly out of control. It feels like it would feel so good to be free, to be untethered, to just not see their face. But I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you because you can't tell me that it doesn't feel right if you're spending all your time not exercising, not eating right, not taking care of your mental health. You can't tell me that you don't feel it anymore, that you've grown apart when you've decided to stop trying to co-create a future together. It may look really different than the future you had envisioned, or the future that you didn't even talk about one another because you just assumed each other knew where the other one was going. So before you cut off the relationship, before you get divorced, before you start Googling, how do I end this long-term relationship? Before you quit, I got a challenge for you, and I hope you will own it and you will live into it. Even if for a short time, just give it a shot. But before I issue the challenge, I want to be very clear. If you are in an abusive or unsafe relationship, if you are with somebody who is an active addict and they have no interest in sobriety, or if you are with somebody who is committed to infidelity, they keep cheating on you and they have no interest in stopping. Any one of those 3 things, this challenge doesn't apply to you. You need to get with a counselor, a friend or mentor, or an attorney and start planning out your future in the safety of you and your loved ones. Okay? But if that's not you, here's the challenge. If you are struggling, bickering, complaining, frustrated, if the word divorce has come into your head, if you've Googled it after your wife or husband's gone to bed, or if you and your wife and husband have talked about it at the table, like maybe this isn't right, maybe 6 years in, 5 years in, 20 years in, we just need to cut our losses and move on. I want you to double down. I want to challenge you to double down on your marriage, on your relationships, on yourself. Take 30 days, 60 days, 61 days, get a number in your heart, sit with your partner, and let's go do this. I want you to decide to do the things to fall back in love with each other. Because remember, love is a decision, love is a choice. Or it may be that you have to decide that we're going to fall in love together for the first time. Maybe we got married for the wrong reasons. Maybe we've got 2 kids and a third on the way. Maybe we've got 3 little kids under 6 and our relationship is totally different than it used to be. Or maybe our kids are about to leave home and I'm looking across the bedroom and I don't know who you are anymore. I want you to decide, I'm going to fall in love again. I want you to decide, I'm going to fall in love for the first time. We're going to decide to get deeper and stronger together because this isn't Romeo and Juliet and this is not Titanic. This is not a myth. This is the real world. And I don't care if you've been married for 18 months, for 6 years, for 12 years, for 20 years, for 40 years. Every marriage goes up and down. Everybody in every marriage has seasons where they look in the mirror and think, what did I do? Is this the lot I've been cast? Is this the rest of my life? I wonder if being with somebody else would be better. Being alone would be better. Every marriage has those moments. Every person in every marriage has those moments. So I'm daring you to reimagine, recommit, and re-strengthen your relationship, your own heart, and your future together. I want you to do these things. Ready? Here we go. Number 1, decide that he or she is it. They're it, and etch their name in stone. Number 2, ask yourself if you have been worth a crap being married to. What are you contributing to this relationship? Are you getting sleep? Are you eating right? Are you exercising? Are you taking care of your mental health? Are you avoiding conversations you should have had? Are you connected to other people all over the place and leaving your spouse all alone, either spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, or physically? What do you need to do to get yourself back on track? Number 3, I love what Emily Nagoski says here, which is define the offs and define the ons, and spend your days turning off the offs and on the ons. Love, romance, intimacy, they happen in a context. These decisions that we make are made in a context. So sit down for the 100th time, or some of you for the first time, and ask your partner, what are the things that shut you off? What are the things that turn you on? And not just sexually, not just, but what are the things that make you fully on? And everyone's got different ecosystems, right? It could be dishes, clean house, no laundry, no debt, safety, going for walks together, regular intimacy, the kids already showered and in bed, text messages throughout the day, little notes, reading a book together, going to church together. I don't know what it is. Everyone is different. But you need to find out your offs and ons and his or her offs and ons, and make it your life's mission to keep the ons on and turn the offs off. Number 4, do a weekly and daily check-in. What is your picture for today? What does your week look like? What can I do to make your day, your week better? And if you both live to turn the offs off and the ons on, and you both live to paint pictures for each other, you will co-create a future that your grandkids will talk about, that your grandparents never could have imagined in their lineage. It's a choice, it's a decision. And number 5, start dating again. And I know we're all shut down, and I know we're all broke. Have a date in the garage, have a date upstairs, have a date in your bedroom, drag a table in the backyard, and have a quiet dinner together. Go for a walk. I don't care what it is, but begin courting each other again. Start dating again. Begin falling in love again. Choose to fall in love again. So that's the 60-day, 90-day, 30-day challenge. I don't care how long you want to give yourself, but I'm asking you to go home, tell your husband, tell your wife, you want to watch this video together. You want to recommit together today that we're not going out like this. We're not letting Corona take us out. We're not letting the last 6 months where our relationship frayed and begin to untether, we're not letting it end like this forever. And I know he screwed up a lot, and I know she was talking to him, and I know he was watching. I know all of that. And back in it doesn't mean we're not going to go see a marriage counselor, and back in it doesn't mean we're going to have years of trust building back together. But back together means it is in stone. I love you, and you love me, and we're in this together. Romeo, Juliet, Jack, they all died at the end of the movie, and they were way too young. You deserve more. You're worth it, and so is your partner. I believe in you. This is Dr. John Delony. Hit all the buttons, subscribe, send this to your friends, your grandparents, your pets, and follow me on the socials at John Delony, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.